Phase of Moon Radio. Blake Cousins here, taking your calls from around the world. If you got a UFO phenomenon you want to report, we're live taking it. Let's go to 818 right now. Sorry, we're losing 818. Let's go to area code 720. 720, are you there?
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. We're live, Third Phase of Moon. We just got started.
Yeah. Hey, this is Steve. I'm out in Colorado. Hey, I was one of your contest winners. I just wanted to call in and thank you guys and tell you how much I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Hey, Steve, so you're going to be driving or flying out to the Joshua Tree?
I'm going to be flying and camping. That's the plan.
Congratulations, Contact in the Desert, big event out there. There's going to be, some of the biggest names in ufology are going to be there. Third Phase of Moon, we're going to be covering it with Dr. J. Andy Elias on location. So, hey, when you get a chance and you're over there and you come across Dr. J, we'd sure like to get a in-house interview with you and see if you capture anything. You're going to bring any video equipment down?
Yeah. Well, you know what I am. I actually went out and bought a camera today, so I wouldn't have to use my phone. Hopefully something with a better zoom, you know what I mean, in case I see something. So, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I got a feeling that there's going to be some major action out there. There's going to be a lot of people coming together trying to, call them down. So I'm hoping that there's going to be some big event. Last year we had Reynolds Kamaka Vivioli. He was claiming that there's going to be, he said, he reached out to Third Phase and says, you got to tell everybody that the Joshua Tree at between 7 and 9 p.m., there's going to be a major triangle formation in the sky. We let everybody know, keep their eyes open while Dr. Greer was doing this thing, and it actually came to fruition. I don't know what the deal was, what it was, but something happened. So I got a feeling there's something going down over there at the Joshua Tree.
Yeah, I tell you, I wish I could do that and just summon them. I've seen a couple before, but I wish I could do that. A commander know when they were coming. I think that would be an awesome gift to have.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's in all of us, and basically I think there's a lot of skeptics out there that there's people that are lucky enough to see a UFO, and people that haven't seen them. They've been around. They say, well, I'm getting old. I haven't seen a UFO, or I'm young, and I still haven't seen a UFO, and they kind of get discouraged and then basically start calling UFOs swamp gas or the planet Venus. What's your take on that?
Well, obviously those are just excuses. I don't know anybody that's ever seen swamp gas. I think the government and skeptics alike, I think that they'll come up with anything to just not admit that there's something else out there. I mean, I think you have to be pretty ignorant not to know that there's something going on, that there's other planets out there with life on them, and the chances of them visiting us is very high. So I think it's pretty ignorant of skeptics just to not believe in anything at all and not even give it a chance.
Absolutely. It's kind of interesting that NASA just spoke before Congress and was claiming that pretty much they're going to guarantee in its own way that they're going to find life within the next 20 years. They're not saying they're visiting us by any means or they're anywhere near us, but they're going to be able to prove that life exists in the universe. Man, do we really need NASA to tell us this with all the money that they're funded?
Yeah, I know. I completely agree. It's funny. It's almost like they have to do these scientific steps, and they think that we have to have these baby steps to the public, and we don't. I mean, we're ready for it. I really don't. I work with a lot of people that have a lot of different religious views, political views, and I haven't met one person yet that when I bring up the subject of UFOs didn't say, oh, yeah, duh. Of course there's something out there. So it's not like there's a low percentage of people out there that don't believe in it. I think that the minority of people are the ones that don't believe in this and that think that we're the only life forms out there, which I don't understand that. It's such a narrow mind point of view. So
absolutely, it's kind of interesting that even famous ufologist himself, Dr. Greer, is claiming that all extraterrestrial contact is, in case of abduction theories, that it's all government operated, and E.T.'s not even involved with that. But then he also claims that he could summon these things through some kind of a CS5 kind of thing, contact of the fifth kind, and then he can discern what's government and what's extraterrestrial. To me, I'm still on the fence on Dr. Greer's theory on that. Have you heard of that theory?
Yeah, actually, I listened to the show. And, I'm pretty sure what he's saying is that 100% of abductions are military in nature, and I don't know how he could say that. I think that's being very optimistic and putting a lot of faith in the fact that all extraterrestrials are these sentient beings that have nothing but positivity for us and things like that. There's just too many reports, and I really don't think. I think that's a pretty. I mean, there, just this whole the whole field you have to have a lot of faith in different theories just to get involved with it. But to think that, I mean, that would be a massive conspiracy on the government's part just to pull that off. I think,
Yeah, I think it would be basically a historic event that goes back thousands of years, this conspiracy that the governments were in charge of controlling art that was showcasing UFOs in the foreground from thousands of years ago. They're in the Egyptian hieroglyphs of flying saucers and, these strange aircraft. Was that a government conspiracy as well? I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think it's even in, they have a lot of stuff out even in the Old West, and I don't think that back then our government had the capability of pulling off fake abductions with horses and horse-drawn carriages and whatnot. That'd be pretty impressive.
Absolutely. I'd say, if that's the case, then then there is the Matrix and there's the program that we live in, and then basically you could simply change a program and go back 1,000 years ago and say, hey, implement this art and make this happen. And then if that's the case and we're living in the Matrix, then I might have to agree with that kind of theory, but that is yet to be proven.
Yeah, and from all the stories I've heard and the different researchers, Jacques Vallée, he had a lot of theories about, them being interdimensional, maybe in nature. Maybe they're not all extraterrestrial, and I think that's a possibility. I think they could be, from other planets, and I also think that they could be here already. They could have been here before us, as far as we know. All the stuff that's going on in physics and quantum theory and string theory and the things with the other dimensions and stuff. It could be a higher dimension, or it could just be beings that live here. That are a lot more highly evolved than us, that have capabilities that we can't even imagine, that seem like magic to us. So, I think it's a mix of extraterrestrial, interdimensional, and I also think that there's the possibility that they're here on the planet with us. There's plenty of hiding places. There's plenty of hiding places, and there's some that have been kind of, unveiled lately, like the Malibu base and things like that. So yeah, I think that they're not all positive. I think that there are negative entities out there, and I think that that there's probably the equal number of them as there are us. There's good people, there's bad people, and I think that that's just the way it is with all life forms in the universe.
Absolutely. Hey, let me go over, stand by, and I want to get your opinion on a question that I have for you, but I wanted to go over some of the flash chat that's happening live right here on Third Phase Moon Radio. I suggest if you're not here live, flash chat's a good place to lay your opinions and even put down some statements. And Flycatch is saying, we are the creation of the Anunnaki, and they may return in the future. What's your thoughts of maybe the Anunnaki are actually us, human beings? They've maybe mastered time travel, and maybe these extraterrestrials are not extraterrestrial. They're just human beings from the future that are visiting us now and seeing in ways that they could help themselves in the future, because there is a similarity between the alien gray and the human evolution, that the way we're going, apparently that our eyes are going to get bigger, our ears are going to get smaller, and everything else, and we're going to lose our hair. We don't need the hair, and our heads are going to get bigger as well. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I read about that. That was, I believe that was when they basically did a sketch and they came up with how a certain type of dinosaur, I can't remember which one it was, but what they would look like if they evolved in the same way mammals did, up to the present time, and it did. It really resembled an alien gray that people report from abductions and things. But I think that's highly possible also because of the Foo Fighters, and a lot of times that the UFOs are seen in wartime, and times of crisis and times of large world changes. And I don't understand why an alien craft would come, or whatever, a time traveler craft would come and stand, like they fly, reports from World War II that they're flying right next to the bombers when they're bombing, and there's no reason for an extraterrestrial craft to come up next to a bomber and watch it, or be in the battlefields and stuff observing, unless maybe say they were, you never know, they could be, and just trying to take a history lesson and see what happened in the past. So yeah, that's also a pretty credible.
Absolutely. Nobody's 100% correct in this business. We at Third Phase Moon get a lot of flack from people saying, oh, you're not doing it right, or, hey, you should have put up that video, or, hey, that video's fake. That's a Chinese lantern. And then basically they're like, what's the complaint? All we're doing is sharing people's videos that come in from around the world, and we're sharing it to the people and letting them decide. And we're not the guys that know everything. We don't ever claim that we know what it is. It's the people that decide. They've had the experience. They know what's going down. Like somebody right here from the Flash at Flip It For You said that, have we ever viewed Crow 777's video of, he films the moon and catches all kind of stuff in UFOs. Actually, we've reached out to Crow 77, and he, on the other hand, is kind of doing his own thing, and he wants to share his stuff exclusive on his channel, which is fine. But then we do appreciate the people that, want to share it to the world, get the word out. It's a big community out there, and I think that's what's the most important thing about Third Phase Moon. And I appreciate that. Congratulations again, and have a safe flight over there from Colorado all the way to the Joshua Tree, the Contact in the Desert, coming up soon. Let us know if you capture anything, even film some of the people on the ground, if their reactions, if things go down over there.
Okay, yeah, for sure. And, on what you just said, I just wanted to say also that you guys, I really do think that by putting out all the videos, I don't think that you guys are the ones to be the people that judge what's real and what's not. I think there's things that have happened in the past where if somebody had done that, we may not know things about other things in history. And I like the mix that you guys are doing now with not just the videos and the stuff, but I think, like the Thursday night shows where you guys are doing the interviews with these ufologists. I mean, you guys are getting some really big names, and those interviews are awesome. So I just wanted to say I think that you guys are doing it right by having different platforms to inform us, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thanks a lot. You're exactly right. Congressmen, astronauts, senators, doctors, nuclear physicists, and famous celebrities. And we've had actually Eric von Daniken just recently, and then even John Lear was on making some outrageous statements, whether it's the real deal and he knows what he's talking about. His dad was an inventor of the Lear jet, a very high, reputable person, and he's saying that these alien, Bigfoot is an alien from Mars. So what are we supposed to do, suppress this kind of information or let people speak? That's what I think Third Phase Moon's all about. What do you think? Do you think Bigfoot's from Mars? Bigfoot exists? What's your opinion on Bigfoot?
Bigfoot, it goes back and forth. I think most from all of the stories and everything put together, I have to lean towards maybe an interdimensional being, just because of the fact that there's so many UFO sightings, lights in the sky, strange stories that accompany those. The fact that footprints will go and just stop out of nowhere, the fact that they can just disappear, the fact we've never found a body, all that different stuff. Just the fact that there's very little physical trace evidence from them. That's kind of the way I have to lean. I really wish that they were just a physical, cool creature that was out there. We haven't ever will. I honestly think that it's something that we're never ever going to be able to catch per se.
Yeah, Bigfoot, I've been fascinated by it since I was a kid, but I'm kind of growing a little bit more skeptic on the Bigfoot theory, if he exists. There's a lot of things out there that it looks like they found the dead body, and then boom, it's obviously we'll keep going around in circles with that. You have this TV show called Finding Bigfoot, and they don't have anything whatsoever, except maybe little howls in the background or like bogus footprints. At least with the third phase of the moon, there's people, thousands. I think we got about 1,000 videos up, but within there's multiple UFO sightings. So we got quite the archive of real evidence that I think that we're not alone. Hey, stand by. The phone calls are lining up, so let's bring some of them in. Let's go to area code 512. You're live, third phase of the moon. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm calling from Austin, Texas.
Hey, man, could you get a little closer to the mic? You're coming a little echoed, and what's going on over there in Austin?
How about now?
Much better, thanks.
Sweet. Yeah, no, I just saw your YouTube thing about giving UFO stories. I thought I'd just call in and drop off a little information of my own experience.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for joining the show, and yeah, tell us your story. We'd like to hear it live, third phase.
Well, yeah, I've never told this story to anybody on this level before, but yeah, I lived in Round Rock. I've lived in Round Rock, which is right outside of Austin, for a pretty long time, and just pretty much to make a long story short, me and my brother were walking through a field one day, and all of a sudden this beam of light hit us and froze us, and we were so scared. I don't know if it was actually the beam of light that froze us or actually just us being in fear because we didn't know what was going on because it was so fast.
Well, it's
and
quite
immediate.
interesting that we're working on our feature film in regards to all the information that comes in, just like how you're explaining it to us right now. We have a scene in the movie that kind of recreates a abduction scenario, and it comes in with a beam of light. Were you see where the beam of light was coming from?
No, we didn't. It's just we were in a field behind our home at the time, and it like got dark. The sun was going down and whatnot, and it wasn't. We couldn't hear anything. It wasn't like a helicopter sound or any like plane sound in the background or anything. Or, I mean, at first, when it happened, when the light just, it was as if we were in darkness going through a field that was at least half an acre, and all of a sudden, a light, as like a spotlight, just came over our head, and we didn't hear it. We weren't expecting it or anything, and that was part of what scared me. I don't know about my brother. I can't speak for him, but yeah, that was the part that really, really struck me. And I didn't at first I was out of fear of just being caught in a field that didn't belong to me. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be arrested. But when it sat there and there wasn't, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're bringing up some memories of mine that back in the day were about, 15, 14 years old, and we went with our friends, and we camped out up at this place called Anna's Pond right here in our backyard in Waimea, and it's next to a big waterfall, but it's up in the mountains, and we camped up there, kind of not, jumping the fence kind of thing. Kids will do be kids. And then it was at night, and next thing you know, a big light started to come towards us, and we're like, oh, look at that light. What if it started coming towards us? And then it started to come our way, and then all of a sudden it hit a big beam down on us, and we didn't hear any chopper blades or anything like that. We're thinking it could have been a chopper, like, hey, what are you guys doing up there? But why would they be wasting their time with kids, camping out in the middle of nowhere? Yeah,
absolutely.
It's just, it took off afterwards, and it took off very fast, and to this day, with multiple eyewitnesses, with my brother and our friends there, we have no clue what it was. Did it give off any heat?
No, and it just, for me, it was just heightened. My fear just continued to heighten because I just could not understand what had happened to my surroundings, because I was trying to scan the immediate ground in front of me through my fear, but I couldn't see anything outside of the light, and just not even a couple seconds before that had occurred, I could see my home, and it was out in the distance, and I could hear grasshoppers, and there was a street maybe a half a mile away. I could hear cars. Not,
hey, look,
just a
we're
couple
getting
seconds before this had occurred.
We're getting some feedback right here on the flash ad, and flip it for you once it knows. Could you give the kind of the exact location where this took place, what town it was?
This was in Round Rock, Texas. Round Rock, Texas is pretty much a subdivision of Austin, Texas, right north of Travis County, which Austin, Texas is in. But, this was right before Dale moved in and started building all their nice little corporation stuff up the street from where I lived. And actually, I was trying to get more information, but there was supposedly around that same time some airplanes or some actual jets, fighter jets, military jets that flew low at night around Round Rock, Texas. At that same time, there was even something on the news about it in the newspaper about a man that had found some sort of material, some sort of metal or something that was strange, and I can't find any more information about it. But it was that night was very abnormal, to say the least. I mean, even when it was all over and it just as quick as the light. It was actually literally, if you can imagine what it felt like, if you've ever been on a stage and like you're about to give a presentation or something and it's really dark and the only thing that you can see is the spotlight that's on you because you're about to give your presentation. It was similar to that without all the people and without being inside of a building. Which made it that much more weird.
I appreciate you sharing this story for the first time. Basically, you say you haven't told anybody. Let me ask you, did you and your brother talk about this experience after the fact?
Yeah, well, immediately, which is really funny, which I think about it to this day, and I find it really strange. Immediately, because basically what happened, the light turned on, hovered over us for a minute, turned right off as if, our presentation was over, and we just started walking as if nothing happened. And maybe a couple seconds after that, I looked over at my brother, and I was like, did that just happen? And all he could do for a couple seconds was just nod in agreement. Like, yes, that did happen. And we were so scared we ran the rest of the way home after that. And we checked the clocks today. There was no missing time. So it wasn't like we were unfamiliar with the story of abductions or anything like that. We'd seen it on TV and whatnot. But as after that, the next day and the day after, we didn't even speak to each other. It took almost 10 years for me to actually bring it up again to him. And what did you think about that night? And at first, he was reluctant to admit, I don't know, it was probably a helicopter. But then, he started thinking about it. And he just had to, at this point in time, he just had to we've come to an agreement that it was definitely something not normal. It was definitely not a helicopter or anything that we'd ever seen before. So, that's what I find most amazing is that it's like we forgot about it, even the way I remembered it was strange, the way it just came to me after so long. And I'm a person that remembers everything. I might not remember names, but as far as the experiences in my life, I remember them like they were yesterday. But for some reason it always gets to me when I think about it. How could I forget about something so important in my life? But it was crazy. It's still crazy.
Hey, man, I appreciate you sharing this with us. And the experience is very similar to mine and my brother's, because it was about probably 20 years later when I spoke to my friend who's just visiting right here in Hawaii. And I asked him, did you ever see a UFO? And he says, yeah. And I'm like, when? He says, with you guys. And I'm like, whoa, what? When? And then he started going over the story, which I just said earlier. And, brought back the memory, and we started to recall things that definitely it was a strange strange encounter that night. I appreciate you calling in and sharing your experience.
Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Hey, stand by. We're going to be taking more callers from around the world. We're live right now, Third Phase of the Moon. Let's go to area code. Sets a date. Everybody thumbs up for this idea. Comment below. Make sure maybe we can make this happen. Let's get tens of thousands of people. Let's get 1 million people all the way there at the Area 51 restricted zone, and then we'll just start walking in. What are they going to do? Start shooting American citizens when we've got 10,000 people wanting to find the truth on what's going on there? Leave me your thoughts below. Last word.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. We need to come together and get the truth out, man. The truth will set you free. How can you be Christian or any kind of religion and not agree with the truth? Come on now. That's supposedly what religion is all about, right, is to connect us with the truth, to make us more one. So let's do that. Let's do what we all know needs to be done.
All right, man. Everybody, leave your comments below. The Area 51 takeover, American citizens from around the world and America, get over there to Area 51. We'll set the date. Everybody stand by. Keep your eyes on the skies. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see everybody again next time.